Hi, I'm Evan. Life's been pretty quiet since I lost my advertising job in New York and moved to this suburban neighborhood in New Jersey. Not exactly where I pictured myself at 35, but after losing Sarah 2 years ago in that car accident, nothing really went according to plan. You need to stop being such a hermit, my sister Maya keeps telling me during her weekly visits. She's probably right, but watching TV and ordering takeout feels safer than dealing with people. That changed last weekend when a moving truck pulled up next door. I was grabbing my mail when this guy walks over with a friendly wave. Hey there, I'm James. My wife and I just moved in. Welcome to the neighborhood. I'm Evan. Catherine, honey, come meet our neighbor. And that's when my world stopped making sense. The woman who walked over. I dropped my mail. She looked exactly like Sarah, same height, same walk, even that slight tilt of her head when she smiled. But her hair was different, shorter, dyed darker. Nice to meet you, Evan. Her voice. I must have looked like I'd seen a ghost because James asked if I was okay. Sorry, you just remind me of someone. Oh? Who's that? Her question seemed almost nervous. My late wife. The resemblance is striking. That must be difficult. I'm so sorry for your loss. But she wouldn't meet my eyes. Later that night, I called Maya. You need to come over. Now. What's wrong? The new neighbors. The wife. Maya, she looks exactly like Sarah. Evan, we've talked about this. You need to stop seeing Sarah everywhere. This is different, I swear. Maya came over the next day when she knew the neighbors would be outside gardening. I watched her face as she looked through my kitchen window. Holy. She stepped back. That's impossible. You see it too? The way she moves, that laugh. Evan, what's going on? I was about to answer when my phone rang. Detective Cooper, the officer who handled Sarah's case. Mr. Anderson, we need to talk. Something's come up with your wife's accident. What do you mean? The insurance investigator found some irregularities. Can you come down to the station? I looked out the window again. Catherine was planting flowers, the same way Sarah used to, on her knees with gardening gloves too big for her hands. Actually, Detective, I think you should come here. There's something you need to see. Pretty serious for you to ask me to make a house call. Trust me, you're going to want to see this in person. I hung up and kept watching through the window. Catherine must have felt my stare because she looked up. For a split second, her carefully constructed mask slipped. In that moment, I knew. My dead wife was living next door. Detective Cooper arrived within the hour, his weathered face growing more serious as he watched through my window. I see why you called. Your insurance investigation makes more sense now. What did they find? Sarah took out an additional $2 million policy 3 months before the accident. Paperwork was rushed through, minimal questions asked. Maya paced behind us. That's not all. I've been doing some digging online. James worked at the same bank as Sarah 5 years ago. Different branches? Same one. They knew each other. My stomach turned. The accident report. Already pulling it, Cooper interrupted. The body was burned beyond recognition. DNA match came from hair samples provided by you, Mr. Anderson. Hair samples she could have left behind deliberately. Maya grabbed my arm. Look, they're setting up for the neighborhood barbecue. Perfect timing. James was firing up his new grill, playing the role of friendly neighbor. Catherine, no, Sarah, was setting up tables like she used to at our old house. Time for a closer look. I headed for the door. Evan, wait. But I was already walking over. James waved with that fake smile. Evan, perfect timing. Burgers are almost ready. Fascinating insurance policy your wife had. His spatula paused mid-flip. Excuse me? $2 million, rushed application. 3 months before a conveniently unidentifiable body showed up. I don't know what you're talking about. Same bank, different name. Did you plan it there or after she transferred branches? Catherine Sarah dropped a plate. It shattered on the patio. You should leave. James stepped forward. Or what? Another accident? I'm calling the police. Already here. Detective Cooper appeared beside me, badge out. We have some questions about insurance fraud and faking a death. James bolted. He made it 3 steps before Cooper's partner tackled him. Sarah tried running too, but Maya blocked her path. Hello, sister-in-law. This is crazy. I'm Catherine. I've never met him before. Really? I pulled out my phone. Then why does your signature on the insurance policy match Sarah's handwriting exactly? Down to that weird loop in your Y's? Cooper moved forward with handcuffs. We'll sort this out downtown, along with the other policies we found. Seems you two have quite a history of insurance claims. As they led them away, Sarah finally dropped the act. You were supposed to move on. Why couldn't you just accept the money and forget me? Because I loved you. And you threw it away for what? A con man and some cash? Better than being stuck in suburban hell with you. I watched the patrol car drive away, feeling strangely empty. Maya squeezed my shoulder. You okay? Yeah, for the first time in 2 years. I think I actually am. The interrogation room was cold, but my anger kept me warm as I watched Sarah through the one-way glass. Detective Cooper flipped through a thick file. We found 6 other insurance claims in different states, different names, same MO. You mean she's done this before? Both of them have. James would move in first, establish residency. Sarah would follow as his wife. They'd pick wealthy targets, usually recent divorcees or widowers. How much? Nearly 12 million total. You were supposed to be lucky number 7. Maya burst into the observation room, waving her laptop. You need to see this. I found their wedding announcement from 8 years ago. That's impossible. We were married 7 years ago. Exactly. She was already married to James when she met you. My legs went weak. Cooper guided me to a chair. Their real names are James and Sarah Conway. They've been running cons since college. The woman you married never existed. Through the glass, Sarah was crying. Those same tears that used to make me cave in to whatever she wanted. Can I talk to her? Make it count. I entered the interrogation room. She immediately reached for my hand, but I stepped back. Was any of it real? Evan, please. You have to understand. Did you ever love me? Of course I did. That's why this one was different. Why we waited so long to fake your death and steal my money? James said we needed one more big score. Then we could disappear for good. A knock at the door interrupted us. Maya entered with more printouts. Found their first victim, Thomas Chen, San Francisco. Lost his wife to cancer, then met a lovely widow named Catherine. Sound familiar? Sarah's face crumpled. He was going to catch on eventually. So you killed him too? No. He had a heart attack when he found out. It wasn't our fault. Cooper appeared with another file. 3 of your previous marks died mysteriously. Heart attacks, accidents, suicide. You're looking at more than fraud charges now. We never killed anyone. They couldn't handle the truth. Like I couldn't handle finding my wife alive next door? The pieces clicked together. The car accident was supposed to be my breaking point, wasn't it? Poor grieving Evan, drinking himself to death. Sarah wouldn't meet my eyes. Maya gripped my shoulder. They've been watching you for months. Hidden cameras in your house. Wait, what? James installed them while posing as a cable guy last month. They were waiting for you to die. The realization hit like a punch. They needed my death to look natural for the insurance. Cooper nodded grimly. Found the footage on their phones along with detailed notes about your daily routine, medications. I want a lawyer. Sarah finally spoke, her voice cold. Good idea. Cooper gathered his files. You'll need one. Attempted murder conspiracy carries a heavy sentence. 6 months later, I sat in the courtroom watching Sarah and James in their orange jumpsuits. The prosecutor laid out photos of their previous victims. Please state your name for the record. Thomas Chen's daughter, Angela. My father died thinking he'd been a fool. He wasn't. I stood up in the gallery. None of us were. More victims' families filled the benches. A woman from Ohio, a man from Florida, all with the same story, all carrying the same pain. The defendants showed a pattern of calculated deception spanning 7 years, the prosecutor continued. Their actions led to 3 deaths and millions in stolen funds. Maya squeezed my hand as Sarah turned to face us. Evan, please, tell them I wasn't like that with you. Save it, Detective Cooper cut in from his seat. We found your diary. Every entry about Evan was tagged Target 7, with notes about his emotional vulnerabilities. The judge cleared his throat. Do the defendants wish to make a statement before sentencing? James stood first. We never meant for anyone to die. The money was just sitting there, wasted on people living empty lives. Empty? A woman shouted from the back. My brother had 3 kids. 25 years, the judge announced for James. He turned to Sarah. And you? I loved him. Sarah was crying again, but her tears held no power over me now. Evan was different. So different you installed cameras to watch him die? 30 years? Outside the courthouse, Maya hugged me tight. It's really over. Almost. One more thing to do. I drove to our old house, my house now. The realtor was waiting. Are you sure about this? Time for a fresh start. The couple interested in buying. They lost their son last year, looking to downsize. Sell it to them, below asking price. But the money. Some things matter more than money. Sarah never understood that. Later that night, Maya helped me pack the last boxes. Detective Cooper stopped by with news. Found accounts in the Caymans. You'll get your insurance money back, plus damages. Split it between the other families. I've got something better. What's that? I held up plane tickets. Teaching job, international school in Japan, about as far from suburban hell as you can get. Running away? Nah. For the first time, I'm running towards something. My life, the one she tried to steal. Maya raised her coffee mug. To new beginnings. And old endings, Cooper added. I looked around the empty house one last time. Somewhere in heaven, that poor burned body, the one Sarah and James had used in their scheme, could rest easier now. Justice wasn't just about punishment, it was about reclaiming your story. To writing our own endings, I said, and meant it. What would you do if someone you deeply trusted, a spouse, family member, or best friend, turned out to be living a complete double life? Would you confront them immediately like Evan did, or gather evidence quietly? What's the right balance between seeking justice and protecting yourself? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your experiences and perspectives on betrayal and revenge. Have you ever discovered someone wasn't who they claimed to be? If you enjoyed this story of deception and justice, hit that like button and subscribe for more compelling stories that make you think. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, and I've got plenty more where this came from. Stay tuned for the next video. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching.